Hey metalheads, look who's back.
I'm back.
I told you the Simmo and Kiel show was only on a hiatus. We are now entering season 2. We have went from the metal news to kicking it up a notch. We're doing interviews from now on. Yeah, man.
Go on.
So, we're talking to Micka Martin from No Porter, a Singleton punk slash
Metal
thrash
band.
metal.
Yeah. Metal band.
So, I think they deserve that little bit of a medal on the end of their name because they are the heaviest punk band.
With an upcoming epic 6-minute
Thrash
metal
song.
thrash.
So,
From the horse.
and we talked to Micka about everything from the band, their last album, the upcoming album, band life balance, and we even got in there about the footy, mate. A bit of footy talk.
Meant to be metal, but we slipped into the footy region.
Nah, that's alright, because Micka loves his footy and so does Kiel. So get ready for an amazing episode. We're going to smash into this one. It's going to be a great interview with Micka. We had a great chat, and this is just the beginning of many, many big interviews that are coming up on the horizon. So, stay metalhead, and get ready for the Micka Martin No Porter interview. Wow!
There's not a lot of people in like sort of this area that sort of does this sort of stuff as well at this present time. So,
Yeah.
In America there is. It's big in America.
Yeah, that's it. It's big in America, but we're trying to like do our own version here, you know.
Yeah. And I think there's plenty of Australians got plenty of bands out there that need any support they can get, you know. Like I think that's probably one thing that the Australian music industry could do better is things like this. There just doesn't seem to be that big of a push for it sometimes, I don't think.
No, it sort of gets pushed under the rug, I think.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we've got you loud and clear now, Micka.
Awesome.
That is just that's brilliant. Now that's fine. Awesome.
Even the picture's clearer too.
So, welcome to Simmo Metal, where we bring the heavy energy and we talk all things metal and rock. But that's what I love about you guys and your sound. It's metal and punk. You've got a metal edge. You really do.
Like a thrash metal sort of thing. Typical little.
Yeah.
Very punk,
Thanks.
thrash metal.
Like when I hear some of the shredding, I think straight away like strung out style.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think I've always sort of been very blessed to be in a band that's have two guitar players that can do that sort of stuff, you know. Like as you said, we pull from many different influences, metal and punk.
Very
I love strung out. Yeah, some nice melody in there. Like Blink-182 was probably the first band I ever got into, and that was a gateway for me.
That's because I hear it on the drumming, on your drumming at times.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. From there, I went to NoFX, Pennywise,
Yep.
Strung Out. Strung Out's probably my favorite band now, and have been ever since I heard them. So yeah, to be compared to them is pretty cool. So
That's just sort of what you hear when it comes through, just loud and clear.
yeah, I think most musicians usually wear their influences on their sleeve. So that's, I mean, not that we try to sound specifically like them, but you write songs that you love, I guess, and that's just what comes out.
Definitely. Very much so.
Yeah, no, that's right. Even me and Kiel are both songwriters ourselves, so we totally feel you.
Yeah. It's just I can't remember any specific times where I've sort of thought to myself, "Oh, I'm going to write a song that sounds like this." You just write a song, and that's what they sound like. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the other guys that write in, so there's probably three of us that write the majority of the guitar music, and they all think the same. It's just sort of whatever comes out at the time.
yeah. So you guys have been around since 2003, eh?
Yeah, it's another lifetime ago when you say it like that.
Yeah, man. I actually remember hearing about you guys even in about 2006. I had a friend named Stacy who used to go to a lot of your shows out at Singleton.
Yeah.
and she'd come and tell me all about you guys. And to this day, I'm even hearing more of yous now, like the Fear and Loathing on the Pacific Highway. Like
Yeah, man, and that was it. We just when I joined the band in 2005, they'd been going for about 2 years around Singleton and Newey and stuff, um, and that's just how it all started. Like by the time I joined, they were pretty well established at Singleton. They had a pub on the highway called the Percy. They used to play it quite regularly, and
yep,
it was the late opener, so they'd start playing at midnight, and the place would be packed, and it just kind of became a thing, and I was stoked to become a part of it. And as the years went by, obviously we've had people leave, not through any bad situations or anything, just family and life gets
yeah,
in the way for some people,
yep.
And friends of ours from the Singleton scene or other scenes we've known came on board, and it's just sort of kept evolving. And I feel like every release we've done, we've sort of learnt more and learn to work better together and write better songs and get better at recording them and stuff. So yeah, it's been a journey, but I think every part of that journey has sort of led us to where we are now, and we get to trek around Australia
Hell yeah,
pretty
you
often.
do.
We went,
It's awesome.
yeah. Oh man, it's so much fun. So we get to do that now, and like when we go to Queensland, we like we stay at Chris's brother's house and we drive out there together in a car. So we actually do pretty well in Queensland, and we're not funneling money into it as much anymore, and we sell decent merch, so it kind of supports itself. So we did Japan and broke even on that. So if you told me when I was 16 that I'd be 40 and been able to achieve what we've achieved now, I would have thought like no chance. Yeah. But to be actually doing it even at a small level like us and having achieved that, it's been really good. So yeah, it's been a long journey, but I think if we skipped any part of that journey, we probably wouldn't be where we are now.
Definitely. I mean, I met you back like when you'd have just joined the band. You came to Ty's Hill TAFE to do a recording, and you got me and Martin
Cookie.
Mates. Yeah, Cookie. Not saying haven't seen Cookie for a long time. But,
yeah.
And yeah, me and Partridge were the two other ones that you mainly got stuck with.
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember it well. We actually one of those tracks recently. We brought out like a B-sides album thing just to keep things ticking along. And one of the tracks
for the life of me, I couldn't remember what the name of those two tracks were that you did with us. I can't. For the life of me, couldn't remember.
Yeah, we did. I
was going back through listening to them.
Yeah, we did American Colony, and that's the one that made it on the B-side recently as like a demo recording and that. So, yeah, that was a long time ago, man.
Yeah. Well, he'd only just joined the band too, not long after that. It's because it was when Newcastle Music Week was a big thing as well.
Yeah. We never knew how lucky we were back then in the early 2000s with music and late 90s.
Well, it actually was like they did something for music back then.
They
don't seem to do that sort of stuff now. So sort of, which is a shame. Because it got like acknowledgement for different bands and whatnot who need the acknowledgement and the help. So yeah,
so much more all ages stuff back then too. Like
very much so.
I remember being 16 and just there were gigs at the Palais and there were gigs at the youth centre. Like I remember seeing Super Heist at the youth centre about 3 times, and 28 days, and they had the big festival they used to have at Newcastle Workers Club, Sobriety. I remember going to Sobriety 5 and seeing Super Heist, and there was another band from Melbourne. Oh, I can't remember for the life of me. They were really good too. So yeah, just heaps more all ages gigs and a lot more accessible back then, I think.
Definitely.
I swear I was at half of those shows with you guys. I was just a kid in the crowd, but I remember all those Palais shows and that, man.
I was gutted when they tore that place down, man. Like,
it's a goddamn KFC now.
Yeah, I know.
It's a Pizza
one of the best
Hut.
gigs.
Like what?
Yeah. Mate, one of the best gigs I ever went to was a little remember upstairs in the loft?
Yes.
You ever see a little gig up there?
I played up there. It was awesome.
Yeah, I went and saw Seraphis Cole and For Amusement Only on like a fucking Wednesday night, and it was like so good, so good. So
yeah, those loft gigs were crazy awesome.
Yeah.
Dragging your gear up the stairs, down the stairs. That was the back room out the back. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I even remember doing a few shows at the loft with I used to be in a band called Villain, which later became a Villain's Embrace, which was a bit of an escape the fate sort of thing. But Villain did many loft gigs. That was where we cut our teeth. So yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, good times.
Definitely. Okay.
So what would be one of your things with balancing no quarter now with also like day to day jobs and families and all of that stuff?
Kids.
I think I think you hit the nail on the head when you say balance. Like, it's about balance for me. I'm lucky. I've got a ridiculously supportive wife and children, my 2 daughters. So I actually met my wife through the band when I joined. She's actually the younger sister out of 2 of the brothers that originally started the band. So I guess she's always understood it in a way as well. But she also knows that any time I put into the band, I'll also put into them. So if I'm away on a tour weekend, I make sure when I come back, I spend plenty of time with them, and I don't come home from shows and sleep all day and things like that. And, the other guys in the band, so 4 of us have kids, 1 of us doesn't. All of us work long hours. Some of us do days, nights, weekends like me now. And I think just picking your timing when you do it. Like, if we were to be gigging every second weekend or something now, it wouldn't work, Whereas now what we sort of do is we lock out like a whole weekend every 2 to 3 months and just go, right, that's the band weekend. And we'll go and do our thing, and we make it work with our work, and we make sure we get plenty of time with our families in between. And it also means that you're not burnt out on it. You're hungry for every gig weekend that's coming along. And because obviously our singer's lived in Brisbane for, over 10 years. Like, he's 1,000 kilometers away from the rest of us.
Yeah, that's a big
people
factor.
People always go, how the hell does that work? I'm like, I think it helps it to work. Like, me and Chris are really close. We've been really close for a long time. And I guess a lot of that, a lot of the way it does work is because how close me and him are. And I think, that just helps it. You sort of do your thing every 2 to 3 months, and we get to hang out, and all the other guys get to hang out, and then you break from it, and you don't think about it for a while, unless I'm hassling the others, messaging about what merch we're doing and shit. But it keeps it going. Where I think if we'd have been going this long now and trying to do it all the time and then juggle families, like you probably get burnt out pretty quickly now at this age in our genre. So
definitely.
Yeah, it's about just maintaining the balance, I think. Yeah.
Which some bands can't do. So.
Yeah, and I think like, we all get along. Like, as I said, I'm really close to Chris. I'm really close to all of them. It's just I've obviously known Chris the longest. But like, all our wives get along, and all our families get along, and it helps, like, to be making decisions and writing music. Because you're writing music, it's essentially just an idea that you want to get across. Everyone's got their own ideas, and not arguing all the time, and allowing other people to help you write stuff and get their opinions in and work together and have this end goal that's everyone's input. Like, having 5 people you can do that without just arguing with, and being able to spend close quarters time with, packed in a van for 7 hours up the coast. Like, all that sort of shit comes into it as well, So, yeah.
Who smells the worst? Who doesn't?
Yeah, that's 100% Darcy. He seems to get Josh on every tour we do. Poor Josh. Yeah.
Poor guy. Poor Josh. Makes you wonder.
Yeah, but we keep coming back, so I don't know.
He must like it. He must like it. Like, I know. He doesn't complain.
Yeah, he complains.
None of you really care though.
That's the thing I sort of love about you guys is there's a lot of awesome humor and just good old fashioned, down to earth people. Like I'm from Rutherford, which is not too far away from where you are. So when I see the video clip for hashtag Cry for Attention, I see a place that I know. I used to work at the service station up at McDougall's Hill, just outside of Singleton. So I drive past that park every morning, and then seeing you guys in the film clip, I'm like, oh, I know that place. That's awesome. It makes me feel at home.
Yeah, I think like you got to have fun, right? Like we're all 40s old. We're all playing a genre of music that went out of fashion in fucking 1999, right? Like we play 90s punk. It was a quick big explosion and then it vanished, you know.
Too true. I play new metal, so
it's similar, right? So you got to have fun with it because like none of us are the next big thing. Like, yeah, there's definitely a following for that sort of music around still. Excuse me, but you just got to be realistic about it. I vaguely remember when we first started back in the early 2000s, we used to be on a lot of mixed band bills. You'd have like a really heavy band. So that's what I was saying. So you saw these mixed bills and stuff when you're younger, and I feel like a lot of the and obviously modern tech and social media, you're more likely to find and play bands that are in a similar genre and that sort of stuff now. But I feel like back then there was a lot of people that, in your younger age, you're trying to make a career out of music, a lot of arrogance and such as well. The people that are our age that are still doing it now, a lot of that seems to have gone. Like the people that are left at our age now are the ones that are doing it for life, regardless. If you're playing to 5 people at the local pub, or if you're lucky enough to get to travel to Queensland and do festivals or your own tours or whatever. So I think that helps. Like you just got to be realistic with what you can achieve and just try and keep it fun. Like for a long time now, I've made sure when I do stuff for No Quarter, it's about creating memories for people. So whether it's playing a certain song that someone wants to hear because it means something to them in Queensland or Melbourne or wherever, or playing a show like recently we did a show up near Maroochydore for Darcy's brother on a Thursday night. Like I knew it probably wouldn't be that big of a show, but I knew Darcy's brother lived up there and he didn't get to see him very much. So just like little things like that, we just doing things for fans or people in my band and making sure everyone's having fun with it. And I think that helps it carry on. You get too serious and you start stressing about it and it becomes more of a job than a hobby. And I think that's where it starts to change.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny when you say about like those mixed bill gigs. I remember playing a few of them, like Firefish doing a few of them. And I'd always hate getting put on the bill with like your real death metal or your thrash bands because we just weren't that. So we'd seem like we'd play our set in between like some heavy Viking metal band and some thrash metal band.
He truly would. I actually remember this because even my thrash band opened for him one time,
and it was like, really, do we have to play with these bands? Because we're not them.
Yeah, and like you're trying to get people to stay for your band, but
it was hard.
Yeah, they're listening to a genre that's like nothing like you, and then just not interested in being there at all. And it's like
we had like 2 songs that sort of fit the bill, and it was like, well, once those sort of songs play, we only have bits and pieces of other parts of the songs.
Yeah, it does. So I'm glad that mixed bills have a place. Yeah, so I think we're almost done. I think the most important thing now is with social media and shit, right? Like it's so easy to just be in touch with bands that are of similar genre, however you say it.
Yeah.
Similar crowds. Music that you sort of enjoy listening to yourself. Not that any live music is bad live music. Like it's pretty hard time to have a hard time listening to bad music, but I just think it makes the shows a little bit better, And if you're a fan and you want to go listen to a certain type of music, you're going to get to go and listen to 4 bands playing that style of music instead of 1, and then 3 other bands that you're not overly interested in. So
definitely,
yeah.
I think that's the whole reason too. Like even not mixed bill gigs, but I went to Red Hot Summer Tour last year because the Living End was playing.
Yeah.
I'd never seen them live, but it was just weird having them. But playing before them was like Pete Murray.
Yeah.
He's a bit.
It's a pretty big shift.
Oh, it's just.
Yeah, that is a big shift, actually. Yeah.
I just find him really stale. I don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't really sort of do much. So
yeah.
Birds of Tokyo were cool first.
Yep.
And you had 3 that were sort of like mediocre until you got to like Living End, and Living End come on and just want to rip shit up.
Yeah, so good. Such a good band.
Such a good band live, man.
And they just ripped up the Red Hot Summer last week.
They did.
Yeah.
It's easy top.
Yeah.
So I actually work as a stage production crew hand for Big Apache. And I do a lot of those shows. So even last weekend I'm backstage and I just get to watch George Thorogood straight from the back of the stage there.
Yeah, nice.
Like literally playing Bad to the Bone, like about 8 meters away from me. So it's a pretty cool gig to get paid to do that for a job.
Yeah. Almost do it for free.
Yeah. I should. No, I won't say that to me, boss.
Yeah, no, he'll take advantage of that.
He will. I love you, Zach. But that's it. Like it's mixed bills, and I even remember back in the day, I was in a band called Villain, which became A Villain's Embrace, and we were caught in a bit of a middle ground as well, because we had emo singing, but we also had like really fast metal stuff on the guitar. It was sort of like a Bullet for My Valentine sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so we get on bills with bands like I think you might have heard a few of these. Alice vs. Everything.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember Alice vs. Everything? They were really fun.
Yeah.
They were fun guys, man. I don't know if they're still around these days, but Alice
vs. It's going back a long time now.
Yeah.
There's like we used to do bands with there was another band. They were probably more hardcore. Captain My Captain and
I remember Captain My Captain. Yep.
Yeah, I vaguely feel like that was sometime around the same era. I could be wrong though. Like,
mate, it all starts to meld together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, whole like decade, nearly 2 decades back. So.
Yeah.
So just touching on Fear and Loathing on the Pacific Highway, like I feel like what we were just talking about, like all of those different mixed bills, all of these different bands we used to play with, I feel like that album is sort of like a callback to all of that stuff.
Yeah, we just sort of try and, I don't know, it's like you're right, there's songs on there about there's a song on there about East Maitland Bowling Club where I used to drink when I was 18. There's a song about
hell yeah,
getting in the
my
van
dad works there.
Yeah, like that used to be our local. We just kind of, I don't know, we sort of did the political thing when we were younger, like No More Guns EP had a political statement inside it and a political cover.
I do remember that actually, yeah. That one really was a statement.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. And it was like the cover had some pretty gnarly images on it. And, we sort of, like Abandoned Ships, I guess you could say, is political off freedom. But with Fear and Loathing, I didn't really...
I do like Abandoned Ship. It's good.
I can't, I mean, it's a great song, but I
love the
lyrics. I was pretty proud of that one, but I just felt like with Fear and Loathing, I wanted to... we all wanted to kind of stick away from it a bit more. I feel like if you're writing about politics, you almost immediately kind of half your fan base, potentially. I don't know. I just wanted to write things that people could relate to a bit more, and things we all wanted to write about. Like we wanted to write about how fun it was being in a band. And there is one song on there called Revolution. Everyone thinks that's a political song, but that's just about a video game that I was playing heaps when we were recording that album.
Really? That's awesome, man. I did not know that.
Yeah, I see. We record all our stuff at home, other than the drums. We do the drums at RTN still, like live drums.
Hell yeah, mate! I think all of us have got history at RTN. I even used to go down there and jam, and even when I wasn't in a Villain's Embrace, we had a deathcore thing we were doing at the time called Deeds for Deadwood, and that RTN playing deathcore in about 2010, 2011 at RTN.
I still jam. I still jam with bands there now.
Yeah, and Jeff is an amazing guy, and that drum room at the new RTN. Yeah, shout out to Jeff. The new drum room at RTN is amazing. Like most of the drum sounds on Fear and Loathing are pure. Like it's not sampled heavily at all. It's pure my drums live in that room.
I love that.
So we do drums. Everything else we do at home, and like so when the guys are tracking guitars, and we still go and we still reamp through our real heads and that in the drum room at RTN as well. But all the tracking and editing and stuff we do at my joint or Darcy's joint. It just saves you a bit of cash, and you can watch the footy and shit while you're doing it. So they were doing their stuff, and I was playing a video game. I think it was called Homefront the Revolution at the time, and I just happened to be playing that heaps when we were writing the album. So I wrote a song about it. So yeah, there was a definite conscious thought to stay away from the political stuff of Fear and Loathing, because I don't know. I feel like the songs are more fun when they're a bit more natural and not forced, and you're just writing about your life shit, you know. Like we've started writing a new album now, and there'll be a song on it about our Japan tour. There'll be a song on it about there's another song on it about getting drunk and getting fucked up and going watching your favorite bands play shows, and then saying that there's a song on there about the atomic bomb, which is it's pretty much a thrash metal song actually, but that just comes from, again, not something political we wanted to write. It just comes from our experiences when we were over there on tour a couple of years ago. So yeah, I think that's about the crust of it.
You have if you had to pick like a favorite track on Fear and Loathing, do you have like a personal favorite that you love to play?
Good question.
Or you just love to hear all the time, or something you go, yeah, that was a great achievement, that one.
I think Fear and Loathing was actually the first album I've ever done where I wouldn't change a thing.
Nice.
Production, sound, lyrics, music, like I'm just really proud of it. So I love all our songs, bar a couple of them from our younger days, but even then I still like them. Yep. But I guess I love playing Truck Stops because it's just a fun song to play and goes over really well. I love playing Shout Out, which Darcy wrote the majority of, because it's just there's a lot of challenging parts in that. It's a bit different than our normal super flowy verse chorus, cliche punk rock sort of songs.
I was listening to that one this morning. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, and the subject matter, like it's about Kira's wife, Kira's wife, that's my wife, Kira, Chris's wife, Christine, who survived a cancer battle. So one I'm really proud of would be Witches. I'm super proud of Witches. Where was I?
Proud of
Witches.
Yeah, Witches, man.
Yeah, I'm super proud of Witches. I think there's a lot in that song and how it all come together, and the way it changed over the course of writing it, and what it's about. Was a good friend of mine, and some stuff he was going through. So I thought that was pretty important to be able to do as well. But Revolution's really fun to play. I guess probably the couple of songs I'm proud of the most for myself writing ever would probably be Witches, Abandoned, and Air Up There. I just think those songs are really good, strong songs of ours. And as far as
Abandoned Ship is, I love that song.
Yeah, and then the other stuff on Fear and Loathing, there's not much I don't like about it. I really enjoy playing all the songs on the album, and we try and shuffle our set lists around a fair bit, so we're not just playing the same songs. And but probably a really fun song to play, Truck Stops. A challenging song that I enjoy playing would be Shout Out, and the one I probably like, and we're closing our set with it a lot lately, is Witches. So
nice. That it's like the big finale song.
Yeah, and it kind of like it builds and it bounces, got a good solo, and then it just ends. Like it's not a song that sort of.
It's good night.
And so it works well for that, and we've been doing Truck Stops as like if we get an encore, we do truck stops, and like a NoFX cover as our encore, so it works well. There was one at Salesman as well I have to give a shout out to, because it was actually a song of, so Josh and Paul, who are in our band now and have been since 2017, they used to be in a band from the Central Coast called New Sedition.
Oh yeah.
It's actually an old New Sedition song that I thought it was important to put some of theirs on, and we worked it a little bit, changed the beat up a bit, but
that's cool.
I'm super proud of how it come out, and I was really happy to be able to do that for them too. Like, I think it's a really good song.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
You've said too, you're currently recording new music.
Yeah, we're at the demoing stage. So I think at the moment there'd be somewhere between 10 and 15 songs demoed, and they're all at various different stages of demoing. Most of them are pretty well thought out, and I've sort of just programmed drums for now so we can get the feel of the song. And some others, it might just be as much as just a riff and some chords, but we'll sort of do that a few weekends again after we get our June stuff out of the way, and then it's a matter of everyone learning them and getting Chris to write melodies, and then we can all write lyrics. So very, very early part of the journey, but it's definitely, the process has begun. Yeah, and nice. I'm pretty stoked on some of the stuff that we've all already written for it. So as I said, the song we got about the atomic bomb is pretty much a 6-minute thrash metal song that's going to end the album. So
not a 3-minute, a 6-minute thrash metal.
Yeah, it's pretty. There's a lot in it.
Epic, well, as Simmo Metal, epic. That's going to be the one that I literally go straight for.
Yeah.
I will be now that he said it's going to be a 6-minute thrash song.
Yeah, it's pretty good, you know. And then there's some other stuff on it there's a song on there that's called at the moment the working name's just Wink, because it sounds like Blink. Like
I love it.
You know, yeah, so it'll have a good balance like Fear and Loathing did, I think. Like, it's sort of, you know, it's got your metal stuff, it's got your melodic stuff, it's got your poppy stuff, it's got your straight punk rock stuff. So, you know, we won't stray too far from that, I don't think. We'll just try and evolve, as in write musically better. And I think the hardest part of anything is lyrics. Like, lyrics is hard, man. Lyrics, writing lyrics that are actually what you consider good enough to be decent to put on an album. Like, lyrics are fucking hard. Yeah. So I feel you. Yeah, that's I feel like between all of us, the 5 of us, we write music really well. Whether whoever comes up with the body of the song and then people add bits to it, or, you know, that's how someone will have an idea, and it's never just an idea that's set in stone. You just have this. I love that about bands. Yep, and everything builds. But I think lyric-wise, I probably do a majority of the lyrics, and that's just the hardest part. Even though everyone has input, it's just ridiculously hard doing lyrics.
Coming up with the theme of what it's about, and
like
atomic bomb, like you said.
Yeah, and like that'll be a hard one to do properly, and it's just about, you know, it helps when you got 5 people that again still have input in it, like nothing's set in stone, but it's just
giving their ideas over.
Yeah, I think it just comes purely down to the fact that I've got more time at times than some of the others, and I just ADHD. I just go down a tunnel and get focused on something. So but yeah, so that'll be the hardest part.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that one, man, because you're telling me about a 6-minute thrash epic. Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, man, it's coming along really well, that one. Too easy. I, as soon as we wrote it, I was like, this is the outro for the album. Like, this song is going to, and we knew that with Fear and Loathing. So as soon as Darcy brought Shout Out to us for Fear and Loathing, it was blatantly obvious that was going to be the album closer. Like, and this had the same feel about it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't wait for that one, man. That's going to be on the top of the Simmo Metal local music playlist.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to try not to let you down there.
No, I'm sure it won't, dude. For a band that's been here as long as you guys have, you know,
you never disappoint.
Yeah. And you just don't rush it. You just take your time and things like that. So, oh man, some of the music I listen to sometimes, like we actually had when we did a little promo vid for Freedom, I think it was. We actually had a Kesha song on there. So
hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what I was going to hit you with, what I want to know from your musical perspective, who is your drumming idols, dude? Like, who inspired you to pick up the sticks?
I think Jordan Burns from Strung Out is probably, like, I wish I could drum half as good as him, you know, man. Like, he's unbelievable.
I seen him live once at the bar on the hill. They were absolutely amazing and tight as hell.
Yeah, always loved Jordan. And then, like, pretty much anyone in that skate punk genre, like Dave Rawn from Lagwagon, his footwork is fantastic. You've got Pennywise, Byron, you know, obviously people like Travis Barker and
always Travis Barker, bro. It's gotta be.
Yeah, it is, man. Like, he just, the way, how dedicated he is to being a drummer and some of the things he comes up with, and just his commitment and how much practice he puts in,
and he's so broad too. Like, he goes from punk to pop as well, and then Metallica sort of stuff in between.
Yeah, exactly. Like me, I can play skate punk, and that's about it. He can just play everything. So, that's probably my main influences. Like, Kai Smith is another newie drummer who a lot of people probably know. Like, his hands, I have to play. So he's written some of the stuff for Hack the Mainframe, the other band.
I have to try and play. I need to go see them, actually.
Oh man, I have to try and play some of his stuff at times, and it just does my head in. Like, his fill work is like lightning. So they're probably the main ones, man.
He's a phenomenally quick drummer.
He's crazy, and you know, he's been around since back in the early 2000s. You know, we used to gig with them way back in the day before they became local resident failure. So there's that, and I guess that's probably the main ones. Everyone likes to rag on Lars, but Metallica wouldn't be Metallica without Lars, you know. Like, Jesus.
True, I totally agree, man. I actually even went and seen in the cinema. There was a Metallica concert at the cinemas, live streamed, and in the cinemas. It was so awesome, and he brought the fire even for a show that is in the cinemas. You know, like, it was amazing.
Yeah. So he's fucking not young anymore either. So
so all the power to him, dude.
Yep, agree.
I just wanted to know, like, your experience with, like, labels and, like, the music industry in general in the past. Because even my band, we're totally independent. We've got stuff on Spotify and that, but it was all just recorded at my house. Have you ever had any dealings with labels or anything, or is it all just indie all the way for no quarter?
Yeah, well, we sort of. So we've been working with melodic punk style for Freedom and Fear and Loathing, and I can't see any reason why we wouldn't do our next album with them as well. So that's a skate punk label based out of Europe.
Hell yeah!
And you know, very proud to work with them. He heard us. I think he heard our Lodestar EP, and then re-released it, and then wanted to release our next album.
That's a good EP.
And it works well for us. We still get to own all our own music. We upload our own stuff to Spotify and that, so it all comes to us. He essentially gets all our online sales go through his melodic punk style site.
Okay, so even like Bandcamp and stuff like that, he's labeled.
Yeah. Well, it's on our Bandcamp, but all our physical stuff, so physical CDs and vinyls go through him.
Yeah, hell
but at the same time, he sends us, at each album, he's sent us a heap of either CDs or vinyl for us to sell
at
locally.
The shows. Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. So it works out well. When we first went to go with him, we were weighing up the cost of what it was going to cost to make, 200 CDs worth of Freedom, whatever. And we sort of went, right, do we go with him? Do we not go with him? What's the go? And got a ton of followers on his Instagram and Facebook, and it's just been really good. I just message him every now and then about stuff, and he gets back to us, and he's super supportive, and he loves the music. And I told him the other week we're doing another album, and he's like, awesome, can't wait to hear it. Let me know when you're ready. So he basically
awesome, does. Dude. That's a great relationship. That sounds like yous have really, like where yous belong, like your home.
I think so. Because we're still very much in control, but he just sort of helps us out with a bit of costs of vinyl and CD and promo, and you know, he gets a little bit out of it, we get a little bit out of it, which is I think that's what it's all about. I have spoken to P Records in Australia previously. My other band, Hack the Mainframer, on P Records. But I just think melodic punk style works. Not anything against P by any means. They're the biggest probably punk label in Australia. Yeah, I just, the way we are with our shows and how we are up and down and spaced out, like melodic punk style probably just gives us a little bit more control and relaxation. So just, you know, stick with what you know that works, right? Like, and he supported us from the beginning, and I like supporting him in return. But we still fund. Well, obviously, we don't really pay for recording as such because we do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
And all our merch sales and that, we've got a band account and all that sort of shit, and that just so yeah, we do that ourselves still. We still do all our own promo. We still do our own artwork predominantly, except for bigger stuff that I can't handle.
Just curious, just one last question from me. What about tours? Anything to go with tours? Like, have you got anything sort of coming up that you are going to do? Or...
Yeah, I would love to come see some live shows, man.
Yeah, we haven't got anything local. We've got so we go to Queensland twice in June. So we're going up there the first weekend of June to do a show at a place called Tribe Clubhouse at Redcliffe.
Yep.
With Hack the Mainframe. And then I've got a gig the following day with Hack the Mainframe on a Brisbane River cruise with like Being, Jane Lane and a few others. So that's that weekend. No quarters. Yeah, like that'll be sick.
Cruise, nice.
Yeah, so we're doing that. So no quarters playing on the Saturday night in Redcliffe then. And then we go to Coffs Harbour on Friday, the 27th of June with Frenzal Rom at the Hoey Moey.
Nice.
And then from there, we go up to Queensland again for the Saturday, the 28th of June. We're playing a festival at Redcliffe again with Frenzal Rom, Being Jane Lane, Something Explosion. There's heaps of bands. Woolston Butchers, Bridge to Nowhere. It's basically in a youth space. So it's all ages. Kids under 12 are free. Nice. Tickets are $50. Like,
oh, wow.
Beer garden, food trucks, market stalls. Like, it's one of the best days of our year. Like, we love it. We played it last year.
Can't beat it. $50 a ticket.
Yeah, I know. And I think last year Butterfingers headline, but this year it's Frenzal.
Oh,
and
really?
I can't wait. So, yeah.
Frenzal Rom are a pretty good band too. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the
good
Friday
band,
night.
legendary,
yeah, man, that's what I mean. That's all I could say. I was like,
yeah. So, and playing with them on the Friday night of that in Coffs Harbour too. Like, that's just the Hoey Moey. Like, we stop at the Hoey Moey for beers every time we drive up the coast. Like,
yeah, I'll stop there.
So that's a bit of a dream come true gig, that one as well. So, and then so that's June. And then we're going to Tasmania in November.
Cool.
So we've got a weekend down there, which we're probably doing some stuff with Knife Hands and then another local newie band called Out of Control. We've been working on that one for a long time. Every time we got planned, we had to put it off. And then we're like, fuck, we're not going down there in winter. It's too cold for that shit.
Not to Tasmania. Yep.
Yeah, and then we're hopefully, with a bit of luck, we'll be going back to Japan next year. So
that was something I was going to ask you.
Yeah, tell us all about Japan, man. We'll finish up on that. We've got about 5 minutes, so
it's unbelievable. It's just such a different scene than Australia, you know. Like we did some stuff around Tokyo and then further south, and like you could play 5 shows in Tokyo night after night and be in different areas and have completely different people turn up and fill each venue. Like the city is just so big, and there are all these little.
A band we interviewed as well. They went over there as well.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
They said the same thing. What you just said, that you could pretty much put it on any night of the week, and people.
Yeah, people are out having beers and everything.
Yeah, it's just the culture over there. Like a lot of drinking and going out after work and little basement venues. So you go down under a building, and it's this small room that probably holds 100, 150 people, and the PAs are just unbelievable. Like, and you walk in there, and there's like we had roadies and stuff. Like we were getting treated like we see big bands over here get treated, you know. So we were just like, oh my, and we just didn't care. We'd be carrying our own shit. We're like, no, we'll get that, man. Like the guy that was meant to be our tour manager and roadie, he basically, we just said, no, party with, like, he stayed in our hotel one night because we got hammered with him, and like we didn't sort of take advantage of it. He said some people do, but we just loved it being treated like that, and everyone was so friendly and trying all the different foods and seeing all the different stuff to see, and being on the other side of the world and having someone who can't really speak your language stand front row on a barrier and sing every lyric back at you is something that I'll never forget. Like, because I was watching and I sort of went to, because afterwards they all want photos and autographs and like they're very big on supporting you, buying your shirts. And so I went to talk. It was a woman and her partner, and she knew every word. And I thought, oh, well, she obviously speaks English, because around Tokyo, massive English speaking. Like, it's only when you sort of get out of Tokyo that the language barrier becomes a bit more of a thing. And she could barely speak English. So
wow.
Like, well, I mean, she could enough, but it was nowhere near what I expected, given how well she sang all the words. So yeah, it was just an amazing experience. So can't wait to go back again. I'm looking forward to it. And it's not that expensive. Food's cheaper over there. Alcohol's cheaper over there.
Yeah, even me and my wife said to me, she goes, when we get a bit older and the kids get older, she goes, we're going to Japan. And I'm like, let's do it. So
yeah, it's just, amazing place. Can't speak highly enough of it.
We're coming up on 2 minutes, Micka. Is there anything that you want to put out there for No Quarter, like a promotional or anything that's coming up, or you just want to put it out there,
Probably not that I haven't already mentioned. Like, new albums coming. Be patient.
Coming. Yeah.
Be patient with us. With life, family balance. It'll take a while, but we'll get there. The stuff I got in Queensland in June, get around that, especially that Where We Belong festival at Redcliffe. I think it's the chick who does a lot of the work, Breezer Beers, puts a lot of work into it in making it accessible for all ages and trying to create that old school festival environment that we all had growing up back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
$50 a ticket, great bands all day, plenty of space, take your kids. So yeah, just that. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Thank you for having us, for starters. Thanks for doing shit like this with bands like us.
No,
thanks for making us feel special.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure getting to chat to you again. And
well, we keep running into each other every now and then, so it's good to stay in touch.
I saw it like when I saw you at the pub 2 years ago at Maitland. You were playing some big thing, and I'm like, oi, I met you. I haven't seen you for ages.
Yeah. No, that's it.
No, it's been a pleasure. Awesome.
No, thank you. Sorry, I had so many interruptions.
No, it's all good,
not usually like that. So
thanks for coming on, and I'll tell you what, in the future, we might even have a talk to some of those mad metal guitarists in your band.
Man,
they're still metal too, if you ask me.
Get a couple of beers on it once.
I'll tee it up. I'll get both guitar players on if you want.
We'd love that. We'd love it.
Yeah, because Darcy does all our recording too, so he loves talking about that shit as well.
I'm a sound producer myself, so I'd love to talk gear and sound production all day long. I'm an advanced diploma in sound, so we're gonna have a proper hooray, bro. This is awesome. You're a legend for coming back.
It just sort of dropped out.
I was just saying to Kyle how much of a legend this guy is, and I said to Kyle, this is what's gonna happen. Micka is going to be a staple of the show. You're going to come back every couple of months or every year or so for us, bro. Once a year or something,
Yeah, we can do that.
He's like, he's the annual first.
Because you know what you are right now, Micka? You're actually our first
interview.
This is like the first Simmo and Kyle show doing live Zoom interviews with somebody.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'll come back for like your first birthday or some shit.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, we will do it.
In the meantime, just let me know when you want to do something. I'll get get the guitar boys to come on for you.
Hell yeah. And you know what? We are doing this, but I hope over the next few years, what we'll do is we'll come out to a few of your shows as well. If you check out the Simmo Metal channel a little bit more, you'll see I do gig vlogs as well. So what we do is we come out to the show, we film a bit of your show. Due to YouTube, I can usually only show about 30 seconds of a song at a time. But what we do is we come out to your show, we do about 3 or 4 of your songs, 30-second snippets, and then we have mad stuff in between, footage of like you guys just chilling, us having a drink with you maybe, And then I get a few Simmo Metal shout-outs. That's where we get the camera and we do a few little shorts where it's like, this is Mickey here from No Quarter and you're watching Simmo Metal, you know? And so we'll do all of that soon. We'll actually come out to one of your shows. I would love that. And we'll do me and Cole will do a full gig vlog.
Looks like we'll be road
cool, man.
it. Looks like we'll be road tripping it.
But thanks heaps for coming on. Cheers, Micka.
Love it.
We love it. And you know what? You are our honorary guest. And for the rest of the history of the Simmo Metal channel and the Simmo and Kyle show, you're going to be asked to come back to this show repeatedly, bro. We want to catch up with you once a year. We want to catch up with the rest of the band. We want to come to the shows. And that's what the Simmo and Kyle show is all about, is this local scene in the Hunter. We do
music.
We are aiming to get to talk to some bigger bands down the track. When I say that, I mean like international acts and stuff like that. Like maybe people from Slipknot, maybe people from Tool, stuff like that.
Nice.
Memel is on the list.
Memel's on the list.
Band.
I think we've got...
They're actually coming up soon.
The Screaming Jets on the list.
Oh, yeah. Dave Gleason is a fucking national treasure.
Mate, if I can get Gleason, what it's looking like is I'm going to get
Wormsley.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so if I can get Warmo, and I funnily enough, I think Warmo will lead
one of
to
the teachers,
Gleason.
Actually, when I recorded you guys.
Yeah,
one of the teachers that was there.
I do remember that. Yeah,
him and the drummer Rosie were both both teachers there.
Yeah,
which was cool.
Yeah, at the Tyres Hill TAFE, eh?
Yeah, Tyres Hill, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going there now actually for live.
He's doing
production.
the same course I did with you.
Yeah, sound production.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
exact same thing.
Yeah, I'd love to know more of that shit. I pick up bits and pieces from Darcy, and
it's good. Like
I know
a
it.
Bit of a head
sometimes, but I know enough to be able to. So when we're tracking and at home, like when he needs a break, I can take over and just get by to give him a break from being in fucking front of the computer for 8 to 14 hours a day when we're doing it. So
definitely.
I wish I had
to the point where all you see
time.
is waveforms in your eyes, man. Like,
yeah, well, see, Darcy's awesome at that. Like, he'll just go deep, and you know, his musical theory's phenomenal as well. So he gets right into that stuff, and then sometimes he gets a bit tired. So I just sort of take over and get stuff at least laid down and punched in and out, and then he'll come through and do what he needs to do again afterwards when he's had a couple of drinks again. So yeah.
Magic.
So what we'll do is when I've got this all edited and going up on YouTube, I'll actually send you a link for it all, and you can watch the episode yourself and show the family, show the rest of the band, and jump on Simmo Metal and like and subscribe.
Yeah, man, I will. I'll do that, and I'll make sure when you post it too, we'll give you a big shout out. We'll share it on our social stuff.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. We'd appreciate that so much.
Yeah, do some reels and shit and tag us in it and all that sort of stuff. So easy.
Definitely will, man.
Awesome.
All right.
Hey, what'd you think of that Knights game last night, mate?
Oh, mate. Up 20-0. Like 20-6, sorry. Couldn't score a point in the second half. It was terrible, man. I don't know what they did.
They dropped a lot of ball.
They went from,
and I think
they went from like playing like pretty good in the first half to reverting back to what they know how to do: lose the ball and drop the ball.
I actually tipped the Titans, not because I think they're a better team than Newcastle, but I just thought if the Titans are close enough at half time, they're the type of they've got so much speed in their back line. Yep. When they're desperate, they throw the ball around, and they just seem like. Every time Parramatta play the Titans, it's usually really high scoring because that's just the type of team they are.
Yep.
And I'm a bit behind on my ticking comp, so I had to fucking make up a game. So I was like, everyone's going to tip Newcastle.
Well, we've got you next week.
Yeah, I know. I'm going on the Friday night, so it should be a good game because I know Parramatta have had a rough start of the season, but I feel like
I think they're going to come good now.
Since Moses has been back, it's been a fair difference, and I know we talk a lot of footy in comments online and stuff. So
it's cool. But I noticed too, I watched the game after Rabbits Brisbane.
Yeah.
Brisbane did the same.
Exactly the same thing.
They scored. It was like watching
14-0.
Yep.
I've got a mate of mine. You know how I always talk about the 50-point curse?
Yes.
He reckons the 14-0 curse is just as real. He said if you watch how many times a team gets to 14-0 and then gets beat, he said it fucking happens heaps, and it happened twice last night. I'm like, oh, maybe you're onto something.
I think too, like I could take the Rabbits score and the 50-meter bloody field goal.
That's phenomenal.
That was absolutely. But it was a bit cheeky at the end. Like they'd already called time, and then Mitchell just goes over for a try. It's like, hang on, that should have been no try. Like,
it was a bit cheeky.
Game's over.
I love it. It was funny, but if it happened to Parramatta, I'd be filthy.
Oh, definitely.
I'm just quickly butting in and saying I love this, and this is definitely going in the show. We're putting some footy talk in the show as well. Like Simmo Metal doesn't just have to be metal. That's what I love. I said to Kyle, we've got some questions written down there for Micka and a call sheet just to be professional. But at the end of the day, that's what I love about these. Is it's just a conversation.
I think that's another influence, like another thing that we both like as well, footy as well.
Yeah, no, I love hearing you guys talk footy. I could actually just sit there and let you go for a while, But
oh my god, nah, I don't know. I don't know about
that. Now we've got a whole nother section of the show that begins right here, right now.
We'd start our own NRL 360. It'd be better than the actual NRL 360 that's on.
I found, like, as I said, I did that League of Inches podcast last year, and I found I got way too invested in talking footy, and I feel like a lot of people don't actually.
Especially with the other three, like your brother and the other two.
Yeah,
You need to write a song about footy, Micka.
Yeah, fucking
half the time you'd be sitting. I'd say it. At half the time you were sitting there with like a drink or something. You'd be just chilling back, not saying much, and they're all getting like real sort of invested in what's going on, and you'd come in and say one or two things, and that was it.
Yeah, and sometimes I say way more, but I feel like people don't. There's a lot of people that can't genuinely talk footy too. Like, and I know I have my moments, we all do, but I like to think I'm pretty down the line when I talk footy. Like, if Parramatta are shit, I'm the first to say, Parramatta were fucking shit. I hate blaming referees for losses and things like that. I'm like, nah. There's a lot of people that can't do that.
Shit. Yeah, they can't admit that their team was shit that night,
Yeah, or just they'll come up with something like, oh, yeah, and you're like, no, that's not actually how the rule works. And like, yeah, it should. And it's like, man, I just chill out. I just want to talk footy. Like, I love footy. I watch every game every weekend. I don't just watch Parramatta games. I watch every game every weekend. And
same.
My eldest daughter loves the footy now too, and my youngest daughter a little bit. She's right into the women's NRL. She'll watch that if it's on TV, and State of Origin she'll get right into. So it's just another thing that you get to share with them.
It's funny. It's like kids. My son's just about to turn 5, and his favourite team is the Rabbits.
Yeah.
So, and I was playing last weekend a gig up at like Taree, and I was staying at the Cooper Nook Hotel, and I went down to watch the footy. And he rings me from home, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, Rabbits are going to beat your team. Knights are garbage. That's everything." But it's not just that. He calls every other team other than the Rabbits garbage.
Yeah.
And okay, that's all right. And then half time, as you know, Newcastle were up a fair bit last weekend.
Yeah.
And I turned around and I said, "So who's garbage now?" And he goes, "Still your Knights, not my Rabbits." And he had to come back for it. And then at the end of the game, my wife rings me and he's on the ground crying. "Oh, we lost. I'm like, someone's got to lose, mate. Sorry, mate. It's just what happens."
Yeah, it's the bad times make the good times better. That's what I keep telling my daughter. Like, she was lucky enough to experience the 2022 grand final, even though we lost. I just remember what I took out of that day was like, we went through Parramatta that day and got a train from there out. And she was so excited. And she's 15 this year now. So she was nearly 13 at that stage, I think, or just turned 13. Yeah, just 12 or 13, we're somewhere in there. And so like, she was just like, "Dad, there's all the shops are done up and there's people driving around. People like I said, "Darling," I said, "soak it up because
it's what happens.
It might be 10 years before we're back again, like."
Yeah, definitely.
And the whole day, the build up, and then I remember I think it was when Penrith got out to 18-0. Like, she put her head on my shoulder, and I looked down, and she looked up, and she's like, "It's over, isn't it?" I was like, and this is in the first half because Penrith, probably the best 40 minutes of footy I've ever seen. I just said, "Yeah, darling, they're not winning from here."
No.
But that's still most of that day was just such a good memory for us. And the prelim win the week before, I was watching it with her, and we were both crying when we got into the grand final. And I know eventually it's a while away at the moment because we're going through a rebuild, and eventually that'll happen again. And I'm like, that's the bad moments make the good moments and memories better. And I guess it's like that with music too. Like
that is.
I know for years, No Quarter didn't do anything much from 2010 to 2014, but
there was a big gap there. I did even see the discography.
Yeah, like when Chris moved to Queensland and obviously got his life together up there, and we sort of gone through a few changes with the band members down here, and you sort of those moments make what we're doing now better, and our time off between our gigs now make the gigs better, and it's just so it's about hills and valleys, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I bet you've never had someone compare football to music before, so there you go.
That's awesome. Like I said, man,
I think the only person is me.
I want to hear a football song in the future. Like, you should totally write a song, just a mad punk song about how mad footy is.
Yeah, we did. We did the League of Inches podcast theme song they use now. We wrote and recorded for them last year. I reckon that's about as close as we'll get.
That's why they used to say to you, give you shit about that.
Yeah. So, well, that's probably about as close we'll get at this stage, but you never know. I've got 15 songs we've got to write lyrics for, so I could probably definitely write about Parramatta pretty easily.
Yeah.
All right, well, loved having you on, Micka. Thanks even for that bit of extra time there. It even gave you and Kyle a bit of time to talk about footy, which would have never come up if we hadn't have jumped back in for one more session. So
no, all good, man. Anytime, as I said. Thank you for supporting us. Thanks for supporting bands in the Hunter Valley. Like, I still think it's pretty rare that 5 dudes from Singleton and Maitland were able to get together and like the same shit and create a band. So I guess without people like you doing what you're doing, trying to help bands at that point in their journey.
And you know what? We haven't got a show without bands and guys like you as well. So at the end of the day, me and Kyle were actually doing something last year called the Metal News. But what was happening was we were basically covering the news about a month after it's already happened. And with the algorithms, especially heavy metal news, you want to be right on top of that. Like, as soon as something happens with Slipknot, you need to be straight on that. But what we were doing, we were compiling information for about a month, build a list. But then all of the stuff's already happened, so no one really. So what we decided is I said to Kyle at the start of this year, because I did a content creation course at TAFE last year, and I said we're gonna turn it into a multicam setup, and we're gonna do Zoom interviews. And you're our first one, Micka, so thanks for coming on. And like I said, we're going to make this a tradition for the Simmo and Kyle show.
Yeah, man, anytime. As I said, it's been a ball.
All right, mate. Legend, Micka.
All right, boys.
I'll let Kyle say hooray for you.
Cheers, mate.
See you, mate. Thanks, mate. No worries, man. Thanks for reaching out. Talk to you soon.
All right, stay metal, Micka. Stay punk.
You too, boys.
Stay all of it.
See you later.
Catch ya.
This is Micka Martin from No Quarter. You're watching the Simmo and Kyle show.